Here's what's up, folks. We're about to install the KXUSBC2 from G7UFO Radio into the KX2. And listen out, because there's some warnings that you may not know about that I fell trapped into. And it has to do with the itty bitty teeny tiny LED. You want to be very careful to spread the chassis apart to get that diffuser to go in there, as Neil calls it. And so here we go, step by step, even with my repairs. Stay tuned and hit that like and subscribe button while you're at it. That helps spread the video to more people. I'm going to do the cutout on my CNC for the side plate. This is going to be a placard to help me zero the metal of the side plate in the CNC router. Hey there, today we are going to install something game-changing and awesome for the KX2. And that is going to be G7UFO.radio. And G7UFO.radio has this electronical device right here that is a USB-C charger, and you can charge your phone from it. Plus, you can still charge your radio from the original port. And this is the original side KEX side, and I am going to do some machining to this, and I'll show you about that, how that's going to go along the video. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to remove the back off of the radio. And you'll see that I do not have a battery installed because it's a pain. And every time you take the back off, you risk damaging these speaker wires, which I think may have an issue. I bought this used, and somebody had put some tape back here to hold it in place. I don't think that that is standard. It may be, but I haven't broken this yet, knock on wood. So we take that off. Now the next thing is I've already soldered 2 pins in here. I don't know where these came from, but in the B and E hole, you're going to go ahead and do this. I think it was already done to my radio. I already removed the installed real-time clock because I wasn't using that either. So the next thing that you need to do is take this side plate off, and there are just a couple of screws to hold this in place. And that is the wrong size screwdriver. And I have 2 more screws in that box where I put the other screws. So I was hanging on to them for this day to come. I knew that I was going to get an internal charger for this eventually. It was a long wait, but totally going to be worth it. So you take the side plate off, and you can see now that we have this right here is going to have something etched right here, or not etched, it's actually going to be cut out of this aluminum, and then there's going to be a reset right here. And so what I'm going to do is take this cover and line it up, and this is so that I can line my radio to the CNC router and make sure that it is lined up. So I'm going to take some tape and tape this into place, and I'll show you what I have here in just a moment once we get this tape in place. Make sure that that is fully lined up and square to all of the holes, and then I'm going to put some tape on there. And then I'll go put another piece on the other side. And this is so that I can get it clamped into the CNC router, have it lined up, and then I can take an engraving bit, and in this portion right here, that is the 0. That is X0, Y0, and then I'll Z0 it once I get it locked in. So it will be held in place at this end, pushing it in, and then I'll remove this and lock it into place on this end. So that's how I'm going to get this routed on the CNC router. You can see that all the holes lined up. I have access to lasers. I cut this out with a laser. All of this is open source, so that's what's really great about it. I had every intention of showing you this being cut out, but unfortunately, I was not recording. All I got was a good shot of the trash can. It's a perfect fit though. Check that out. Now, because I already had this done, all I have to do is line it up, and plug it in. So before I do that, these are the 2 pins that you're going to have to solder in. Somehow, some way, I wound up with 2 beforehand. So I didn't have to solder the 2 that he sent me. So I already had this done. So what you're going to do is you can take these and just plug them into those just like that. This is where you want to be careful and go ahead and when you're installing this, push the chassis a little bit far at this point right here so that you don't snap the diffuser off and the LED as well. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this, we're going to do a few things actually. We'll save these pins for another day, but we're going to get the heat shrink out first. The red goes to B. Push that down like so. White goes to E. Push that down. Well, that one's going to be a little more difficult. Push that one down like that. Then we'll line this up. There we go. Beautiful. We'll take this heat shrink and go ahead and push it all the way down to cover all of that. But now I need to machine this. That'll be what I show you next. This is my punishment for not being very nice to this thing. That is the LED, and it looks like I can't even hold the camera still. I'm zoomed in so much, but it looks big right now. But when you zoom out and see, oh man, that is tiny. So tiny. And that is what I have to get soldered into the, you can see if I push it around, but next step is to get it onto here. All right, here I'm reworking it with a hot air station, and I'm just trying to get that solder to melt. It appears that I have successfully soldered the tiny LED. So, once you fix your faux pas, put the light pipe back in, or the diffuser as Neil calls it, then battery in, you put this little gel, heatsink gel, out of the way of the notch for where the set screw goes down. Now we're going to fasten this plate. I'm not going to show you those screws, but there are 2 different screw threads. There's the tiny thread which goes into the unit itself, and then these screws screw into the KX2. So don't get them mixed up because they act crazy if you do. Okay, let's plug the USB in. I'm pretty zoomed in, so it's going to be kind of fidgety. You know what? I'm going to have... Okay, Oliver, take this USB-C and plug it in while I video this light. I'll hold it still. Yep.
Got that turned on.
Got the light pipe fixed, or the diffuser. Now what happens when we turn the radio on? Yes.
Blue was actually the hardest LED to make, LED color.
It was the last one too.
Because it was
Robbie Camp POTA, 11.7 volts. All right, here are a few things that we're going to try here. The first thing is I'm going to introduce you to a splitter that I split the power from the battery to the charger, and I'm using the positive end to measure the current. Current is measured in series. So the first thing you'll notice when you plug a battery in is that it blinks. Now I do want to show you before we go any further that you can charge a cell phone from the USB-C on the radio. So I'm going to turn the phone off. I'm going to plug this in, and then let's see if we can measure the current before the battery completely dies. I know that goes in there, juxtaposition. So you can see that it charges the phone, and look at that, 3 amps, and then it dies because the battery's dead. So, wow, that puts a lot of current. That's 15 watts to the phone at 5 volts. So you can charge a phone, but the battery is dead. So check this out. We can charge it with this cheap charger, and look at there, we're getting 600 milliamps to charge the battery from there. Now, what I haven't tested is, what if we charge from a wall wart? And then I'll show you charging with the USB-C again, but let's check this out. Plugging in the wall wart, we get the same amount. So how about that? We can charge the battery 2 different ways, from a wall wart or from USB-C. So check it out. Here we go. So that shows you the current measure that you get when you charge, and you get it from both. Now, what happens if we try to charge from a non-PD source? So a non-PD source. This is just a regular old USB-A to USB-C. Let's plug that in and see what the current level is there. Juxtaposition. And we'll plug that into the USB-C. Oh, wow, look at that. Somehow it delivers the same amount of power. That's insane. So what if we were to plug it into a computer USB port? Surely we're not going to get a 0.5 amp from there. Let's say that you have your trusty laptop. Let's see what charging from a 5-volt laptop gives you. So even there you get 350 milliamps from your laptop. How about that? And then we're going to take and place this in here. What direction are we going in? This direction. Set those down in there. Make sure those stay plugged in. Put that right there. Guide it through so that it doesn't close on it. And now, line that up. Last time I'm going to have to open that unless the internal battery goes kaput. And then we'll close it up. And then we can see how much of a charge we're going to get from this right here. And maybe other power banks can give higher power delivery. I'm not quite sure on that. We're going to plug that in. There goes the light. It says it's charging. So you probably won't get much of a cell phone charge out of it, but I guess if you're in an emergency, you're at the end of your activation, and you're just like, I'm going to finish this thing off before I have to charge it. There you go. That's one way to do it. Now, I do carry around other batteries with me just in case, but if I did need to go lightweight, I can just have 2 of these and do it that way. Charge this one normally with the Elecraft charger, or take one of these along, which this is a lot heavier than this, but if I needed to go lightweight, that'd be the way to go. Internal as your main battery, this one as a backup. Alrighty, so that is the G7UFO KXUSBC2 charging board. It is a great upgrade for the Elecraft KX2 because being able to charge from a USB-C cable is just top notch, the best upgrade for this radio. So here's what it looks like one more time. I had to machine this out. I chose to machine it because I had the capability, but he sells these. He has the KX one, he has the normal one. You just check out the website and you can get this, and it ships pretty fast. Customs is where it's going to get you. So I'm Robbie, W1RCP, and I hope that you have liked this video. Maybe you've shared it with a friend or two, and maybe my extra stuff really helped you see how things work inside. And hopefully my mistake of breaking the LED and actually fixing it with a hot air gun really helped you out. Thank you to these channel members, because without you, none of this is possible. I mean, we have a complete radio here that is amazing. Oh, and here, if you try to charge it when it's running, that light comes on. That's the I'm not charging right now light. So there is that. You don't hear any extra noise. And then when you turn it off, check this out. It starts charging. It negotiates and goes. So thank you so much, and we'll catch you later. I'm Robbie, W1RCP. Hope to catch you on the air.